Hello, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is Dave, and we'll communally be your keepers of Arcane Lore. Not even really a keeper situation. We're running a solo adventure. So until recently, we were sort of scattered to the four winds of the world. We still kind of are. James is still away, and we're down Art and Alex next week. So what we're going to do is for 2 weeks, we're going to run a solo adventure along with chat. And we'll also just sort of hang out. We're more than happy to answer some questions. And if we get some coming through on the YouTube as well, we can answer that in the following week when I think Jax and I will wrap up the scenario and bring it home. I guess we'll write like, hi, Art, Jackson, Alex.
Hey.
I guess you don't really need full introductions.
What's going on?
Yo,
I guess just double check everyone can hear us after 2 weeks.
Yes, that's
right. How much time do we have to fill? Do we just like talk shit for a while or... Oh man, I just ruined the YouTube metrics for swearing in the first 30 seconds. Oh no.
They can come for us.
Yeah, because we've never done that before.
No, I think actually it'd be like the few times we haven't is this much smaller list.
I mean, it will always I don't think I've ever not sweared in my introduction, so fuck it, I guess.
It's better than the time previously when Jackson abused the YouTube audience in the opening.
Immediately.
We've already got our first question from chat. Moderator RQ Staffen asks, of this book color, does the creature on the front book cover look more like Dave or Jim? That's a great question, RQ Staffen. Thank you so much for asking it.
It's 100% Dave.
I think I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
It's the extra eyes.
I was gonna say, like, Jim has a very like open, affable face.
Yeah, and I've got
really because it was the extra eyes for me.
Serpentine.
Definitely the more.
Yeah.
The more.
Are the chat seeing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say Jim has a more. No.
Not easily. My cover is showing one is the whole screen, which we have no audio on. But there's kind of a little. You can see the eyes peeking out on the top of the moving background.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at the stream image. Is definitely Dave with that creepy just like.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm gonna fucking get you.
The peak.
Yeah.
It's the peak.
Dave has big like cat in the middle of like zoomies looking over the top of the bed being like, I'm gonna fucking get you. I'm gonna do it.
And I'm fast as hell, so that's very accurate. All right, so for this adventure, we have a pre-gen. We have a character already created, which I've ripped out of the back of the book called Dr. Woods. And if I go to
Professor Woods,
Professor
thank you very
Woods.
much.
The first piece of art says Doctor. Ugh. Well, we'll call him whatever we feel like. So that should be visible. So the very first thing we need to do before we're going to do anything, before I even read the introduction, is we need to roll our luck, which is 3d6, and we need to assign 70 points to some of our skills because we have a little bit of flexibility to choose what we want to focus on.
If it's 3d6, should each of us roll 1d6?
Yeah, each of you roll 1d6 and I'll multiply it by 5, so we're all involved.
Yay!
All right, well done, Alex. Alex gets points.
Okay, hang on. I can do this.
And it's everyone else's to lose. Jackson,
down the average. We are now exactly average.
Yes.
So what are we up to? 10? Well, that would be 50. I can do that one.
Straight down the middle, baby.
I also love that we fully got like all I had to do was roll a 3 or a 4, and then we've got like the full spread.
Yeah.
I have a request.
Yeah.
No.
Can we drop the S?
You're not chat. You're not allowed to make
off the character's name.
Yeah. Do you want to be just Professor Wood? Yeah, we can do that.
And now that it's a porn name, it should be like a super attractive himbo professor.
Do we want to ratchet up this
stumbling
appearance?
through this cosmic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want
I want to ratchet.
We could swap education and appearance, and the professor is just the like Hollywood title.
Yeah, it's like an honorary professorship. Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
He was just giving it
actually,
for so long.
I reckon we should swap appearance and intelligence, because you can have a good education, which is how you get professorship, but not be very clever.
Okay, yeah. So
I think
70
that's
appearance and 40 intelligence. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Okay.
We're gonna die.
So we have 70 points of skills to assign, and the book helpfully tells us, and I can show this now. How's that? It's a little bit zoomed out, but whatever, you'll have to trust me. So it's got a guide. It's got some ones that might be useful, and I can't help but notice that demolitions is not included, which is strange. But the ones that are listed
wrong. That seems incorrect. I think we need to pump like 20 points into demolitions.
right out of the gate and then jam it in wherever we think appropriate.
I mean, you're allowed to have hobbies. Our dear professor is not the cleverest of humans we've established, so demolition seems like a thing that would be right up their alley.
Okay, so we'll definitely do demolitions. The other ones it suggests are things like anthropology, appraise, archaeology, some social skills, climb, a couple of clobbering abilities, psych, stealth. Now we actually begin with a lot of these because the sheet already has stuff, but I'll start with just whacking 20 in demolitions because I think that's critical. And then and I
hold on, isn't this the thing with the solo adventures though? Is it tells you what like to roll?
Yeah.
Are you telling me that this adventure features demolitions rolls?
I strongly suspect it does not. But we can. I tell you what, we'll see if there might be an opportunity where we can.
Can we get like? If the chat agrees, we can substitute a roll for a demolitions roll.
Yeah. Alternatively, we just like store 20 points and be like, if a demolitions roll comes up, we're using it. But otherwise, we can just put it on something else.
I think that's fine.
Just like quietly.
So we've got another 50 points. We should have some charm, right? If we're this apparent, right? Surely.
Yeah. Charm. And
I like a bit of charm.
Some sleight of hand.
Whack 30. Yes, sleight of hand. Alex and I we're on the same match. All right, 30 there.
You know I love it.
50 there. If we just put 20 in sleight of hand, we are done. There we go. Crushed it.
Cool.
Okay, perfect. And we got 21 in demolitions, where I will say if anyone in chat wants to chime in with a more logical option,
no,
they're free to be downloaded and disregarded.
No logic, only boom.
Okay. Terrific.
Make problems go away by making a different problem.
Bam. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, so
a louder problem.
Do you guys all have access to the PDF?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, we'll start off. I guess we'll just one of us reads it until someone else gets bored and wants to chime in. Does that work?
All right.
And we'll just hum along.
I don't know. I assume someone's going to read it, and then we're going to argue about what we're going to do, which is going to be so much more chaotic.
Well, why don't I kick us off until we get to a point of conversation, and we can also get a setting for the beginning. Well, let's get an understanding for the beginning scene. So, our story begins sometime in the 1920s on the pier opposite the lakeside resort town of Asbury, Massachusetts. Your investigator's reasons for visiting the town are discussed in the relevant entries. Read through the introduction and get started sections and gather everything you need. Then when you're ready to play, go number 1. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. The sun sinks low on the horizon as you board the ferry headed across the lake to Asbury. As you set foot on the boat, the ferryman greets you with a wide smile and a cheery wave. He stands by the gangplank as you pass, welcoming the other passengers as he removes his cap to scratch at his balding head. His pudgy figure fills his well-worn suit. He looks a little awkward, but he seems a rather pleasant sort. Leaving the man behind you, you take a seat towards the prow, eyes fixed on your destination. You settle into the seat with your thin briefcase resting on your lap, noticing that the rest of the passengers are likewise getting comfortable for the short trip across the lake. Glancing around you, you catch sight of the ferryman entering the cabin. As you sit patiently and wait for the engine to come to life, you listen to the sounds of idle chatter around you. You look out across the water and notice a thin fog beginning to form over the surface of the water as the temperature drops with the approach of night. After a few minutes, you hear the engine sputter into action and feel the ferry lurch forward. The conversations around you continue as the ferryman joins you all on deck. You can't help overhearing most of the talk, although it's surprisingly banal. There are almost a dozen passengers on the ferry. Most of them are simply looking to spend their money during their weekend in Asbury, and to enjoy the various shops and leisure activities the lakeside town has to offer. Many of the passengers seem to come from money, as is common in Asbury. You notice a strange look from one of the women in the group. She has a full figure and brown hair and eyes. She seems to be looking you over, admiring your features.
Yeah, she is.
Get it, Professor Wood.
I'm very glad.
I'm sorry, just a quick check. How do you pronounce the word B-A-N-A-L?
That's so funny. That's exactly what I was going to go back to. I think it might be banal. I said it banal.
Banal.
Is it banal? Like a banana?
Banal. Banal is very funny.
Well, that's
which is kind of why I lost it a little, but it is in fact banal.
Okay, well, already learned something. And it shows where the mind wanders.
As soon as Professor
Hail.
Wood is involved, that's probably how he pronounces it.
Yes. A banal alias.
Cha-cha-cha. Yeah, so our appearance has already come in. This is great. All right, we're going across to 80. Oh, now it's got a whole bunch for like, make your character. We've already done that.
Yeah. We're too good for that.
Yeah, damn right. Oh, here we go. So the woman clearly sees something in you that she likes. Perhaps it's your
she
looks or a
does.
glint of intelligence in your eyes. She
No,
gives you a
it's not.
sly
Nah, not that one.
wink
Not that
before
one.
turning back to her companions. You likewise turn your attention to the rest of the passengers. Sitting apart from the general crowd.
Do we though?
No,
Yeah, I feel like we need to make some kind of spot hidden check to see if we pay any attention, but I believe this is important for adventures, so continue. I
Also,
suppose.
100% this woman's going to turn out to be some sort of fish, lizard, or other.
Worth it.
But Professor Wood might be into that. Who knows?
Yeah. Don't kink shame, Dave.
I didn't say anything. I just said she's a lizard. That was lizard approving in parentheses. She gives you a sly wink before turning back to her companions. You likewise turn your attention to the rest of the passengers. Sitting apart from the general crowd are two men in dark, well-tailored suits, whispering quietly to each other. They have unamused expressions on their faces, as if they don't seem pleased to be here. Perhaps they're on business. Noticing that you're sitting alone, the ferryman approaches you and stands over you with his characteristic smile. You notice he's missing a tooth in the upper left corner of his mouth. His eyes are bright as they light upon you. Good afternoon.
We each got to. If Dave's doing most of the narrative,
characters?
we each got to have an NPC.
Yes,
Who wants the woman?
Oh, the woman.
I think this
No.
is the ferryman who's up for
Oh,
grabs.
we
Ferryman.
got the ferryman. Art?
Yeah.
All right, we'll cast
Ferryman's
it.
all yours.
Art, take it.
Hell yeah. Good afternoon. You look a bit lonely there, friend. What brings you to Asbury?
Terrific.
We're a professor, so we go to 23.
Onwards. Already the branching begins.
22, done and done.
Oh, this is great. Oh, you've got a few lines. This is excellent. You mentioned the passing of a distant colleague in Asbury and how you've been sent by Miskatonic to recover his work and bring it back to the university. The man sighs and nods slowly.
You mean Professor Harris? Real shame what happened to him. Always seemed like such a nice man. Officer Powell said they're still cleaning up the mess at the professor's place. But some of the more valuable bits will probably be at the estate sale tonight, if you're wanting it.
The man looks down at his hands for a moment and then back to you as he extends one your way.
Anyway, I'm Lance Sanford. Pleased to meet you, but I wish it were under better circumstances, eh?
Terrific. All right, we've got our first choice.
One day I will do a character entirely in that accent and it will be awful.
It'll be great. So none of these options appear to be returning us to talk to the lizard woman, so we'll have to choose a second one. So we can inquire about Professor Harris. We can inquire about Officer Powell, who I've already forgotten who that is. We can ask about Lance, the bloke we're talking to. We can ask about the estate sale, or we can just pass the time and wait, which is just, I guess, cross our arms and refuse to engage.
Doing a Sudoku puzzle.
I want to know about the estate sale. What cool shit does this guy have?
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
that's what we're here to do, right? Get his work and bring it back to the university.
I think we've got also
Yeah.
we've got some. No, we don't. We don't have any appraise. Okay, never mind. I was thinking that might come up. Okay, estate sale.
66.
Ka-chang. 66. The mention of an estate sale grabs your interest, and you ask for some more information. Sanford obliges.
Amelia Harris is selling some of her late husband's collection. She could use the money and doesn't really have any interest in that ancient Italian stuff the professor studied. But some fish folk do. Sorry, some fish folk? Where'd I get that from? Some folks do. Collectors, academics, that sort of thing. She put the word out not long after her husband died. People have been trickling in for the past few days. I've got this on tiny script and on a different monitor. It's great. If you're looking to get your hands on something, it's going on tonight at the dance hall by the pier.
You exchange,
I'm big in this for myself.
you exchange a few more pleasantries with Sanford before he goes off to finish guiding the boat into port. You pass the time in casual conversation with the other passengers and in observing the scenery. You note the tall pines and the sloping hills along the lakeshore around Asbury. These features, and the small town beyond, are just visible through the growing mist, but squinting helps make them out to your satisfaction. In time, you arrive at the pier of Asbury, grateful to be off the water. I'll also flag, because it might come up, it was ancient Indian stuff, not ancient Italian, although I'm very excited about a collection of spaghetti strainers.
Ancient Italian
it is fully
Roman.
ancient Italian now.
I think it's specifically
Yeah,
Italian.
we're running with that.
There's
We're
like a
running with it,
nonna.
and anything in here that references any kind of Indian artifact must now be Italian.
We'll reflavor it on the fly.
Noted.
We're going to 3.
What are these numbers in brackets? Do you know, Dave? It says go to 3, and then in brackets,
It's
18,
where you've
23,
come
33,
from.
60, 70.
So you can go back.
Oh, okay.
That
Gotcha.
makes more sense. Well done.
At least I assume that's what it is, given that we came from one of those.
These things are
numbers, I'm
definitely
pretty
pretty
sure.
easy to get lost in.
Did y'all notice the PDF has hyperlinks?
Yeah, if you click on them, it
Outstanding. What a fine product available from chaosium.com. Aligned against the tide.
Nicely done, Jack.
Yeah, because we just came from
Nicely done.
66, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Or something
that's
like that.
the number in brackets is where you might have stumbled from in case you need to rehash your journey.
Hell yeah. All right, we're on to 3.
And also probably like for ease of if you're putting this together as a narrative, being like, hey, I know which bits link to other bits magic.
100%. We did, James and I did the RuneQuest one. And the huge conspiracy wall to map it, we had it all done out in Twine, and you get this like knot of connecting structures as it all comes back together. It looks a little bit insane. All right, one number 3. Does someone else want to take the make words come out mouth?
I'd love to.
Thank you, Jackson.
You take your first steps onto the pier with the rest of the ferry passengers, trying to get your land legs once again. The passengers still chat casually as they walk off to their destinations. You note one last little flirty wink from the full-figured woman as she struts confidently behind the women accompanying her. And you feel the two duck-suited men push past you at a brisk pace, nudging you out of their way. Sanford gives you one last wave. Yep, that's how Sanford waves. And a smile as he begins tending to the old rust-stained boat that is his pride and joy. The last light of the sun is fading fast, and the fog is growing thick on the water now. The night is still young, but you would rather not be wandering around in the dark and fog of a town you are unfamiliar with. Taking in your surroundings, you see a sizable crowd jockeying for the entrance into a lavish, modern-looking building along the lakeside. A folding sign sits at the front, illuminated by a lantern. Who wants to play the sign?
Alex, do you want to take the sign?
I'll do the sign and I'll do the wife.
A folding sign sits at the front, illuminated by a lantern. The words
Estate sale tonight.
are written on it in large
She's a
bold
4-pack a
letters.
day smoker.
Perfect, no notes.
While this seems to be the main attraction, you could also seek out somewhere to stay for the night and set about your work in the morning. Do some more character work, which I assume we've already done.
Yep.
We can go to the estate sale straight away, or we can find somewhere to stay for the night first.
I love that we have fully made a character that has no appraise whatsoever, and also no archaeology, and also just nothing useful. So we've literally just been like, we've got our professor friend, he's got some old shit, and we want it.
We've got archaeology and anthropology.
I do have
do
one
we?
question. Like,
Okay, good.
yeah, we do a little bit.
What were you saying, Alex?
A little bit.
Well, the determining factor of visiting the estate sale or finding somewhere to stay for the night is, did the lady go to the estate sale or towards a hotel?
Is there any indication?
Where did the lady go?
Follow the lady.
Follow
What did it
the lady.
say?
Checking us
She
out. Let's do
struts
that.
It just said
along
that she-
confidently.
Yeah.
It doesn't say where she's going.
Well, actually, I think we're
I guess we lost her.
at the estate sale, aren't we? Because we're looking at the sign.
Yeah, there's a sizable crowd jockeying for entrance into a
reckon-
lavish
I
modern
reckon
building.
she's going to the hotel.
Yeah.
I reckon we should go check out this estate sale. Whenever there's the word
Yeah, see if there's
jockeying,
anything
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm not actually. I don't
we
agree
don't
with
want
horse
anyone to get
racing,
there
but
before
like.
us. Like,
Okay.
yeah. It's
Alright.
competitive estate sale. Yeah, we need to win.
Also, so very specifically, it says to find somewhere to stay for the night, and we've been told like that this is the safe thing. Like we don't want to be out at night, so we want to find somewhere to stay, and we want to be safe. No, we are not good at that.
That's funny.
All
My
right.
immediate instinct was to
Danger will
shirk
happen.
work and avoid doing what we've been sent here to do. So to go and find a hotel and have a little snooze. But
Well,
we could go
I-
to the job.
I've read ahead and we got good news. 15. Pushing through the crowd, you make your way toward the estate sale. Judging by the number of people packing into the dance hall, this seems to be quite the event. Most of the people here are well dressed, with conspicuous amounts of jewelry and designer clothing on display. You see a broad-shouldered man in a policeman's uniform standing by the door. He has a scarred yet clean-shaven face and a baton at his side. His brow is furrowed in a serious expression, and he watches the commotion through narrow eyes. As you mingle with the assorted academics and collectors, you notice a few other faces that stand out in the crowd. Most immediately, you spot a man in flowing orange robes with tawny skin. He seems more than a little out of place and is garnering some odd looks from the other guests. Glancing around further, you happen to notice the two dark-suited gentlemen from earlier standing in a corner toward the front of the room, talking to a young, dark-haired man in a dated yet elegant long coat. He is of a slight build and has rather sharp features. A thin wisp of a mustache hangs beneath his nose. Most noticeable, though, is the rather attractive young woman standing on stage at the front of the room next to a bespectacled old man. Long black hair cascades down her shoulders, accentuating her pale features and complementing her formal black dress. Occasionally, she and the older gentleman peek at objects hidden beneath white sheets, the sale items waiting to be displayed. We can mingle with the crowd of guests. Yep.
No, go ahead.
We can mingle with the crowd of guests.
What?
Who's got the speaking conch? Here we go.
Mingle with the crowd of guests. Talk to the police officer. Talk to the man in orange robes. Introduce ourselves to the dark-suited men. Make our way toward the stage and the woman. Or leave the hall and go find a place to stay for the night.
Let's go do my thing.
Like, this sucks. Let's go.
This is awful.
I mean, what I was going to say was, may I be the first to say, oh my.
Oh,
dearie me.
You are. You made it. I mean, there's only one option here, isn't there?
The only alternative is the gentleman in the bright orange toga, which I'm a little bit intrigued by, but I'm very happy to go and speak to our friends.
And Svanzik.
All right. Yeah. Someone else want to take over? We're about to cast the woman that we've been
Alex
chasing.
might be. I think you were bagsing
right.
the 40-pack a day woman, right?
Yeah, if she's got actual lines, I'm not doing that.
Oh, you're not? All right, run to 22.
Well, I guess I'll do it if someone else wants to take over the narrative.
Yeah, I'll take over narration.
Alex.
There you go. Alex, take it away.
You make your way to the stage, navigating around the many guests in the dance hall. Your eyes lock firmly on the woman, and hers rise to meet yours as she looks up from peeking at one of the hidden objects. She stops what she's doing as you approach, and a smile appears on her lips as she notices that she's caught your eye. She rests her left hand on her hip as you come to stand at the foot of the stage. The old man behind her continues his inspections, either unaware or uncaring that you've come to distract them. The woman leans toward you over the edge of the stage. You can see her makeup has been painstakingly applied, despite her status as a recent widow. You clear your throat as you meet her gaze and promptly introduce yourself. She extends her hand to you formally.
Well, aren't you a new face in town?
I'm so glad I did that.
She teases.
She teases.
We get those quite a bit here. No doubt you plan to bid on some of my late husband's things. Good for us both, I say. Just be sure to give a good price for little old me, all right?
She winks slightly at you. You realize now would be a good time to get some more information from this woman who might be the most well-informed regarding your interests. What were her interests again? I seem to have forgotten. She certainly seems like the flirty sort and would probably respond well to more of the same.
She is our
Make
interest.
a charm roll.
Yes.
Now, can we justify demolitions yet?
What do we put in charm again?
We put a bit. We put a
I
bit.
guess I'm gonna make this one.
45?
Yeah, I reckon whoever is narrating, do the roll. Then make it easiest.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I offer her a cigarette.
If you succeed, go to 43.
All right, 43.
Oh, yay. Jackson, get ready.
Oh, good.
Jackson,
Oh,
mate,
I'm
your
sorry.
voice is going to be fried. This was an awful decision.
I'm not sorry.
No, I forgot to do an accent. It's going to get better.
You take her hand in yours and bring it to your lips, keeping eye contact with her as you do so. She giggles and her smile. I don't know what her giggle would sound like.
Apparently sounds like Oscar the Grouch.
Oh god. She giggles and her smile grows wider as she regards you with interest.
My, aren't you the charmer? If I weren't a widow, I'd be thrilled. But I must still mourn my husband, you understand? He was a stuffy old goat and obsessed with his studies. I have no problem selling his things, mind you, but that's because I need the money. A girl like me gets used to a certain standard of living after all. But I can't very well go cash chasing after the first pseudo comes to replace him, no matter how fetching.
She winks at you again and rests her hand on your arm and lowers her voice to a whisper.
Perhaps you could join me for a drink later. I have a little bit set aside for good company. I won't tell if you don't.
She seals the conversation with a final wink before lifting her hand and turning back to the stage and its hidden artifacts.
Resounding success.
This is the
We
most
did it.
sinister thing I've ever heard. I'm genuinely unnerved.
Golf claps for Jackson. Golf fucking.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
so good. Bravo, encore.
I hope she proves to be completely human.
Well, you've now begun gathering information in Asbury. Would you like to interact some more? You may now select another option from those listed. Do not repeat a choice already selected. Once you've chosen 3 options from the list below, or if you just wanna, go to 35. Note that selecting to leave the hall will make you ineligible to make further selections from this list.
Okay.
Great.
So we can.
The orange
Mingle.
man.
I kind of want to talk to I do kind of want to talk to the officer and be like, so someone said there was a mess at the you know, because there's a mess at the crime scene. They're still cleaning up the mess.
Yeah, that's good.
What the heck happened?
So we're the
I
officer?
feel like we need to
West
go
man?
and establish that the man in the toga is in fact the orange robes is in fact a man in an orange Italian toga.
I actually
yeah.
like the idea that in the story it is Indian artifacts, but we are not very smart and we skimmed the brief, and so we're just assuming it's Italian the entire time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Italian.
Okay, so toga or do we, the dark suited man? I just kind of want to talk to all of these. What do you want to do first?
I mean,
Let's do the
we're
officer.
really interested in the woman, aren't we?
Yeah, honestly.
Who could tell us, of this list could tell us most about the woman? I guess it'd be the police officer, right? The local?
Let's do the
I
police
mean,
officer.
Would it
and
be
then
the
toga.
guy who's up there with her?
Yeah, but I don't think.
He's not an option, is he? No.
He's at the stage.
Maybe
he like
the
sort
officer.
of just stares.
Oh,
at
hang
the
on.
stuff
Quick
whenever-
question, because it
Yeah.
says once you've chosen 3 options from the list below, I assume that includes the option we've already chosen. So we've only
Yeah,
got
so
2 more we
we've
can
done
do.
one.
Okay. All right. Good call. We have to do the man in orange. I think that's
Yeah.
so good. I kind of imagine the dark suited men could be kind of cool too if they're like some FBI.
Yeah.
You know.
Just because I understand how these things work, I do want to note that to leave the hall and go and find somewhere safe to stay is number 26. And if we don't do that, we are being sent to number 35. It's not the same result.
That is true. So we will
Correct.
not. We don't necessarily have.
We
a
will not
safe
have somewhere
house.
safe to stay for the night, which sounds ideal, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we were going to go and have a drink with the lady
We can
later.
crash
Maybe
at
that's an option.
What's-her-face's
Yeah.
pad,
Hmm.
We don't need to find a place for a stay. We're staying at her place.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more.
No, either
Also, we're
orange-
not very clever. So whatever we choose should definitely be like purely based on id.
I think we made the call. We're going to the orange robes, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably
Right.
that's probably the logical like
All right.
he
Alex
stands
is-
out.
Alex, are
102.
you still rating or passing it to what?
Yeah. It's loading on me. Loading. Oh. It's
102, page
the wrong
35.
page. There we go. Yeah. Oh god. It's randomly moving pages on me.
Yeah.
What number was it? 35?
102. 102.
102,
On
page
34.
35.
Ah. There we go, 102. You approach the strange man. He seems well-traveled and weary. His long orange robes are a stark contrast to the fine suits and dresses of the New England financial elite. He seems decidedly out of place. You open your mouth to speak and find him staring intensely at you. Make an
Ew.
anthropology roll, okie dokie.
Okay, we've got anthropology again.
We're
We
pretty
got a
good at
good
this.
bit. We're more anthropological.
Oh, holy shit.
Critical success.
We know. We do one thing.
Okay.
If you succeed, apparently.
Succeeded the hell out of it.
I succeeded. You recognize the man's style of dress to be that of a Buddhist monk, which is unusual. They are not known to be particularly common in Italy. You bow a customary greeting, to which the monk smiles and returns the gesture before speaking in heavily accented but fluent English.
So obviously someone has to do the monk, and obviously probably not going to do an Indian
Oh,
accent.
you do a really Italian one.
So is this
Doesn't
monk
say
going to
what
have an
accent.
Italian accent?
Yep.
Or maybe
Who's good at
he's just a
Italian?
bug. He's just got a really Australian accent.
There you go.
They didn't specify which accent.
Well,
Italian
I feel like
Australian accent? Accent?
accident.
Accent. Italian
that's
Australian
what
accent?
this is. Yes, that's what we're having at the moment, Jackson. It's an accident.
Italian Australian accident.
And yet I'm getting the impression that no one here is brave enough to do it.
Yeah, I'm
gonna put Dave. Dave, you haven't done an accent yet. All the rest of us have. Go forth.
Just
You
make
don't
it real
have to do an
bogan.
accent. It can do it. It can be a bogan monk.
not. All right.
I feel like heavily accented does not specify, and therefore
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, we'll do heavy Australian then. All right. It is good to see one here with such respect for our customs. I am Banyan.
Why is it that Australians doing an Australian accent is somehow worse?
It's so bad, but we're
so
stuck with it
much
now.
worse.
We're committed. Write it out.
Yeah.
His expression turns to a frown as he makes a sweeping gesture to the rest of the room.
The rest here seem only seek profit from my culture. Selling the items of my ancestors is most shameful.
You respectfully question why he would come such a long way to witness such a thing, and he sighs before turning back to you.
I've come with what money my temple would gather so that I might have some few certain of the artifacts. Ones that your Professor Harris stole from my temple in Sarnath when he came to visit some years ago.
Don't you mean Venice?
What a dick.
See,
See,
The monk seems troubled and falls silent. He bows a farewell, and you take the cue to leave.
thank goodness.
what do we learn from that one?
Nothing, because we were too busy with our
that
nonsense.
Harris was a dick.
Harris was going around pinching shit.
Harris is stealing.
Well, so we do now know where the artifacts were likely to have come from, which is a temple in Sana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if we were clever, we'd be like, I wonder if that is a temple to anything. We're not, though. So we're like, that's words that I wasn't expecting from someone from Italy.
I mean, the book doesn't know we got a crit on that anthropology roll, so normally we'd get like everything about this guy and where he's from.
So here's the
Go on
fun
Google.
fact: as rules is written, is that scaled success does not matter unless it is specifically like you can get a crit on something that you only need a regular success for, and our keepers are lovely
know.
and give us extra information, but we don't
I
actually
know
technically
that.
get that.
I think a crit
roll.
actually does have some, like, this should get you extra. It's extreme successes that don't do anything. I think a crit would get you a little something extra, but like we often do, like, you got an extreme, so you get a little something something.
We used
which
to
is-
we used
I
to
like
do
that.
we used to have a house roll where getting a crit would give you an improvement.
Instantly gain a D10 in the skill. Yeah,
Oh, we should bring that back. That was good.
Instantly gain a T10 or instantly roll for improvement.
gain a D10.
Yeah, good night.
We should bring that back.
That was what Jim used to do for our
Might be a-
games, and I think
maybe it's a bit
it slipped
much.
into the stream a few times.
Maybe a bit much based on Roll20's dice, which seem utterly whack.
We also over level a little bit already. We do a couple extra in betweens. We'll do assign a couple
Yeah,
points. So
we
you
get a
can
little bit of
scale
something,
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We
All right.
don't play exactly rules as written, but we're pretty close.
Dark suited
It's a
man
vibe.
or
We have fun with it.
officer.
Or naps.
The hotel.
Or the crowd of guests, or we leave.
I reckon.
I still think the copper would know most about the woman
Yeah.
we're most interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
go
the
speak
copper's
to the
gonna know
police
her.
officer. I agree.
Okay.
88.
You turn around and backtrack towards the entrance to the ballroom. Something about the officer by the door catches your attention and holds it. He gives off a commanding presence, and his eyes bore into you intensely as you make your way over to him. As you move within earshot, he rests his hand on his baton and clears his throat.
Oh man, I mean, Alex, you haven't done a
I think
character
Alex, do you want to take this one and we'll juggle the reading?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yet. All right, so art's taking over
although-
narrating.
Works for me.
Yeah. I really hope there isn't going to be any sort of problem, citizen. I wouldn't want to see anyone getting hurt tonight.
His hand does not move from his baton.
Oh.
Psychology roll.
How are we for psychology? We've got points.
50. You roll.
No. Psychology?
And just note, we're only gotten green so far.
Psychology.
Wall of
Well,
green.
Yeah.
We don't anymore. But we do have luck. We could spend some luck.
We can spend luck. So we've
Ooh.
got...
We can't push, though, I believe.
Yeah,
Not by
you'd have
default.
to. I think it will call out if you can push. That's what someone will do. So we have 50 luck. We could burn either 10 on... I feel like it's not that important, right?
Do we care about this cop? I really hope there isn't going to be any sort of
Yeah,
problem.
fuck him.
All right.
It sounds like he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, let's leave him.
29.
29 it is.
I really like how we all independently made the decision to say baton instead of baton.
The officer seems rather alert and vigilant. It would probably be best not to bother him and let him do his job. He clearly does not need or want your help in any way.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alex, you got shortchanged.
Go to
He
the
might,
next character as
he
well.
might come back to save us at the
Might come back.
So we have now selected 3 options. We should go to 35.
Mm-hmm.
35 is not
Which is
linked.
not hyperlinked. Disappointing.
Well, that's fine. I'll go to 34 and roll back.
Ah, Jackson, your character's
Slash
back. How good. We're on page 18.
Yes.
The murmuring of the crowd dies down and people begin to gather around the stage as Amelia and the older gentleman call everyone to attention. The widow strides confidently to the front of the stage where the lights are centered. She flashes a broad smile at the crowd and begins to speak.
Her name's Amelia? Did we get that earlier? I guess
Yeah.
it's implied.
We
That's
did
fine.
not.
Yeah, Amelia, that was good old Lance was like, yeah, Amelia House.
yeah,
she's the widow.
right at the start of the
Well
ferry.
done.
That
I
was-
already forgot.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you could all make it tonight. As you all know, my husband recently passed. And, well,
Just before we move on, Jackson, could you just, for me and no one else, say Mike Wazowski?
Mike Wazowski
Thank you.
didn't file your paperwork again.
That's 100% what it is.
Yep. At this point, Amelia begins to tear up theatrically. Oh, this is such a good character for Jackson. So much so that her makeup begins to smear. She produces a handkerchief to dry her eyes before continuing.
Well, I'm very upset. I miss my poor William so much, very much, and I don't know what I'll do without him. That's why I brought you all here tonight. I hope you can find some use for his collection, and I know that he would be happy to see his things go to those who value them highly. I hope you'll show this poor widow a kindness by finding something you like. But now, let us begin. I'll leave the auctioning to Mr. Warren.
With her opening statement complete, Amelia moves to stage left and allows the bespectacled old man, presumably Mr. Warren, to take center stage. He clears his throat before speaking.
Who's Mr. Warren?
You want this one, Alex? You got a little shortchanged on the last.
Yeah. Tonight we have very ancient and very valuable items for sale from the estate of Professor William Harris. Although exceedingly strange, I have deemed these items to be authentic to the best of my ability. I have placed a ballot box, slips of paper, and a pencil on each of the 6 tables next to the item for sale. If you wish to bid on an item, simply write your name and the amount you are willing to pay for it on a slip, and then place it in the box. The item will be sold to the highest bidder. All of the proceeds will go to the wife of the deceased.
With that, Mr. Warren moves to reveal the gathered item.
Do you think she killed him?
Oh, 100%, no doubt.
Because she's getting all the money
All
from
right.
this,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, this is a fun time.
Professor Wood loves a woman who would actually just kill him.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right.
70, I think.
Yep. Mr. Warren approaches the first table and removes the cloth covering to reveal an old pair of clay cylinders covered with strange etchings. They are small and seem quite fragile, with large cracks running down their sides. Mr. Warren proceeds to the next table and likewise uncovers the item in question. This one is significantly larger and more ornate. It appears to be some sort of altar or reliquary, heavily decorated with yellow-green gemstones. However, there is one similarity with the first item, the presence of the same strange written characters, though these ones seem to have been painted on. The old scholar turns to the next item in question and displays it for all to see, a decorated crown of solid bronze wrought with the image of a Hindu god. Odd for a piece of Italian.
Yeah.
Professor Wood just sitting in the back pondering, trying to figure this all out.
The next item is certainly the most mundane, a large, thick, leather-bound journal that appears well worn and beaten with several loose papers jammed between the pages. Mr. Warren senses the confusion of some of the members of the crowd and clarifies that the notebook is the assembled personal works and studies of Professor Harris. The item that follows the journal is a well-preserved ceremonial robe of a Brahmin priest. The cloth is pure white. The last item is perhaps the strangest of all. It is a small statue or idol, presumably of one of the many deities of ancient India, made from a blue-green stone in the shape of a rather grotesque lizard-like creature.
Hell yeah.
The craftsmanship is
concerning two-headed serpent.
The craftsmanship is crude and gaudy, so much so that it appears fake. People begin moving among the items, looking them over and conversing quietly. Make either an appraise or archaeology roll. If you succeed, go to 45. If you fail, go to 61.
You're plenty of
Archaeological as
archaeology.
hell.
Archaeology.
Well, we don't have appraise, so archaeology it is.
I'm enjoying,
Far out.
I'm enjoying you getting all
this-
your failures out of the system before we get back to the regular game.
25 is a lot. This is the one that
That's
I
half
more
our
wanna
luck.
just- yeah. I want
It
to know.
This
does.
one feels kind of important.
It does feel
does
like
feel
a key
kind of
point.
important.
Because I
It's the
think this is
first
also
big
us getting a
clue.
vibe for all of the items, right?
So we
Yeah, it's not just one.
So we think old mate Orange, some of these are like relics from his culture, right?
I think
so he was coming to bid
intimated
for
that they
them.
were all taken from his.
Well, I mean, one's the
Well,
book
the
that he
notebook with
wrote,
Harris's
so that'd be-
work won't
No, but a lot of them were like nicked from the temple.
Yeah,
be. Yeah.
maybe
Mm.
he's a lizard too. They're all lizards. All right, do we
Do we
want to
spend
do we
our
want
luck
to
now to
burn
get the biggest
25 luck?
clues? Or do we save it for...
Well, I
dying.
mean, maybe chat has an opinion
Dying.
on the subject, although it'll
Yeah,
take them about
chat.
20 seconds to realize that we've asked them something because stream delays, but you know.
Chat,
We'll see.
start carrying your weight. We need some help here.
There we go. Jackson's
us
going against
what
Twitch
to
this
do.
time.
What are you doing?
I
You have the
reckon we
opportunity
spend
to be here live, and you're not taking it. You need to. Oh, here we go. Spend that luck. Spend
Spend the
it.
luck.
Yeah.
Send it now.
Very good.
There
Luck
you
is a
go.
fan pro.
Fantastic.
Spend it
All right.
now.
All
Spend
right.
that luck.
We're down to
Dave, do you want to
20
out of the
Avery.
edit the sheet,
we're down
please?
to 25 luck.
Oh man.
If you succeed, go to 40. Yeah, we spent half our luck. For the record, for anyone playing along at home, we rolled average and our luck
Yes.
started with 50.
Uh-huh. Alright,
Okay,
45.
45.
It's better be good.
Excuse me. I'm going to need water because while I can read.
Do you want to pass it back to Dave?
Do you want to swap?
Mm.
The narration.
No, I'm good.
You got it?
I just need.
Good.
Yeah, I had a fair amount of coffee this morning, and that just like gummed up the works. I like reading. It's something I'm good at.
Oh, it's so good.
You examine the items with a trained eye. The crown and ceremonial robe are obviously authentic and typical of what you would expect. They are in great condition and would certainly fetch a good price, though they are no rarer than any other antiquity. Likewise, Professor Harris's journal seems like it would be of value to a scholar, though a few delicate cursory page turns show that it contains personal accounts and travelogues as well as historically relevant information. This is likely a good source of information on Professor Harris himself. However, the other items present are noticeably different. The altar and clay cylinders bear a similar script, and both show comparable signs of aging and wear. Given this, they are unlikely to be fabrications, but they are unlike more traditional finds from ancient India. A close inspection of the lizard idol, yes, from ancient Italy. They are different. In fact, they're odd. A close inspection of the lizard idol leads you to believe it is likewise verifiably authentic, though the workmanship is strange and unnatural and clearly nothing like anything you've seen from ancient India or elsewhere, especially Italy. It doesn't bear any signs of work from modern tools or influence from modern styles either.
I'm being honest, I don't think that was worth 25 points
I'm
of
not
luck.
sure it was.
I think chat led us astray.
Yeah, let's blame them. Great. I really hope this next mechanic is something where we get to like decide what, like we get to bid on one of them to go for it.
Oh,
And
my
when we
buddy,
go
my fam.
against,
My buddy, my fam. 81. You notice that you're not the only one looking
Yes.
over the items with such interest. The monk appears to be closely scrutinizing the stranger items as well, and the dark-suited gentleman from earlier seem to have taken a liking to the curious idol. Apart from this, various other guests wander around the tables, occasionally fixing on one in particular. There are many guests and a fair number of bids being placed. If you would like to bid on any of the items, now is the time. You will be
Hell
redirected
yes.
to this entry after each choice, and you may choose to bid on any number of items. Please make each choice only once, and please note that each successful bid will lower your credit rating for
Hell
future bids.
we've got
There you
60
go.
credit rating, by the way.
That's not
So
bad.
we've got a bit,
All right.
we got a bit to spend.
Yeah, so we have to bid on the clay cylinders, go to 24. To bid on the altar, go to 103. To bid on the crown, go to 58. To bid on the journal, go to 6. To bid on the ceremonial robe, go to 30. And to bid on the strange idol, go to 92. If you're unable or do not wish to bid on any further items, go to 16.
I want
So,
that
despite
item.
my earlier abuse, now is the time to start asking chat for advice while we talk about it because of the delay. I feel like the
Exactly.
journal is going to have the most information. The idol is clearly the Cthulhu thing. I don't know if anything else is actually of
I
any
think
interest to us.
that we might want, because someone in chat pointed out, always go for the book. The book is
Always
going to
go
have
for the book.
info about what the fuck's going on. Like, I reckon having information about Harris is good. I think we also will be able to get a hold of that for maybe a slightly lower credit rating smash.
Yeah.
I think the idol's
because it's just a
the
book.
best chance to go really wrong, though, and lose sanity.
Yeah.
So I'm a...
Which
I think
we
that's a
love. We do
strong
love
case
that.
for
I
it,
reckon
yeah. It might eat us.
I definitely think we should go for the journal, but whether we do it first or after, I don't really think
Oh,
is
well, we got to go for it because when our credit rating's the highest.
All right. So I think...
which the idol or the
Oh, the journal, right? Is the most important thing. So we got to start with that.
I don't know if it. I mean, it will give us a lot of context, but whether or not that's the most important thing.
We got Chad
Well,
staying. We got
yeah,
Chad
heavy,
I
staying.
think-
heavy,
to go
heavy
for the
book leaning. Let's go.
Yeah,
to
I think the book
Yeah.
is key to the
Alright.
actual adventure and finding stuff out, but the idol is be the next one. But we
Let's-
definitely want to
We'll go
see who
wrong,
gets
yeah.
the idol.
Let's go ahead and let's start with the journal, and then
It also
we'll be
is-
brought back.
It's also strictly what we were here to do. Like
Alright,
the
were we?
university wanted,
We're retrieving
his
his
work.
stuff
His
or
papers,
whatever.
yeah.
and that's
Oh,
in his
okay.
papers is where most of his work's going to be.
All right. Well,
So
there we go.
if professors were the kind of professor who would remember what his job here is, then that's what we'll do.
All right. You feel that the information in the journal is essential to your interests, and you cannot help but make a bid. You place your paper with the others and hope that Mr. Warren calls your name when the amounts are compared. Make an appraise or credit
cool.
rating roll.
That's
If you
a-
succeed, go to 100. If you fail, go to 14.
Credit
That's a
rating.
very good mechanic.
All right.
Yeah.
Credit rating time.
Very good.
And just roll better this time, Art.
Hmm.
Make a number under 60. Under.
I don't know if you noticed that Alex has got you well beat in terms of
You
rolls.
do not me.
So, Dave, that you're about to see Art in person, and
Oh, yeah.
we'll have to atone immediately.
When we jumped on the call, Art kicked it off by giving me the finger. So it's, strong start. All right. Yeah. Dice time. Yeah. That's what we
Oh.
fucking want.
Let's do that.
I mean, to be
more
fair,
often.
whenever Dave's like, get this, I usually
yeah, get good.
You know.
You do.
get good. Yeah. Yeah.
Normally it's because I'm extremely going to fail.
Yeah.
Well
All
done.
right. You feel that the knowledge in these old pages could very well prove essential to you, so you offer a price that is more than fair. Sure enough, Mr. Warren calls your name and presses the leather-bound tome into your eager hands. I was heckin' right.
Oh, we
Reduce
are
your
gonna
credit rating by...
clean
Oh, no,
up.
I lied. 2 percentiles.
We are going to clean this place. We're buying
So that's
everything.
60
Reduce
to
your credit
58.
rating by 2 percentiles.
58.
So...
Presumably that's like 2 percentile points, not 2 percentile rolls.
Yes. That's yeah, that's right.
Oh, that is okay. Because as soon as I read reduce it by 2, and I was like, hang on, 2 is sure. 2 percentiles makes me think that we're meant to take down the tens number.
No.
Yeah.
No, percentile, because if you say 2% and your credit rating 60, then it implies it's asking you to take 2% of 60 and
I'm
reduce
pretty
it
sure
by
I
would just
I even
Just
remember reading in the
read that
book
as, like-
somewhere that percentile is the term they use for single.
Right, okay, as opposed to reduce it by 2, which Sure.
Which makes more sense. It would be
No,
less
it is
ambiguous.
reduced by 2, right?
Alright.
That's where we
Reduced by 2, yeah.
Make it
Great. In that case, we have bid on the clay cylinders, bid on the altar, the crown, the robes, or the idol.
And we've
The idol,
got
right?
we've got the wait. Do we? Yeah,
Wait, yeah,
we can
we've
keep
got the journal.
bidding. Oh, let's clean house. Let's take all of this shit.
We got credit rating 60. I mean,
We're going to
58 now.
single-handedly fund this widow's new house, and she's going to appreciate us for it.
Which is good
Yeah.
because we're going to move in with it, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep reading until we finish this bid and then I'll hand it over to someone else. But so I didn't,
Alright.
I've got everything on one screen. I'm going to get someone else to do the credit rating rolls just so we can flick through it a bit quicker.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. So we're going for the
so-
idol?
Idol.
Idol. The thing that's going to go wrong.
Wrong.
92 was it?
Go wrong.
92, yeah.
92.
It's extreme. No.
Something draws you to the curious idol and you feel compelled to make a bid.
Ooh.
You notice that you're not alone in this, and the monk and one of the dark-suited men both place bids of their own into the box. You hope yours is high enough. Well, you know, I should have rolled because I got what we needed on the last one. Make an
Yeah.
appraise or credit rating roll, both at extreme difficulty. Success only at equal to or below 1/5 of the skills value. Do you want me to roll this again? I might get it.
If you could just roll the same result, that'd be great.
Dick.
Yeah, look, let's.
We'll burn all luck if it gets.
All right, let's see. Let's see. I don't think this is gonna happen, but we want which one was it? Credit rating?
Yeah, credit rating.
Extreme. No,
No.
Heck.
unfortunately not.
Nope.
Oh, man.
All right.
Just pause. I just realized it says the monk and one of Doc's men bidded on the statue. Do we remember who bidded on the journal? Who else was
No
I
interested?
think no one. It
no
didn't
one?
say anyone
It
was
didn't
there.
say anything
That's hilarious.
specifically. I
So one of
assume.
the
Yeah.
NPCs in the crowd, maybe.
Yeah, I
Like,
think the
just-
idea is like there's crowd bids, but like the ones that we care about are those people, which is probably
All right.
all right. Well,
54.
though you put a sizable bid in for the idol, a truly outrageous sum is called, easily twice what you offered. Mr. Warren squints hard at the paper before calling out the staggering price in an unfamiliar sounding name, Banyu.
Banyu.
Confused whispers break out as the orange-robed monk collects the statue with a look of excitement on his face.
Well, that's good. That's
know
good.
who
That's
got
not a bad
Let's
outcome.
kill
Right?
him.
We're happy about that.
Let's take
Turn
him.
back to where it belongs.
Someone, not looking at anyone necessarily in chat or on stream, should keep a record of who gets what. Just saying.
I've got a notebook open in front of me. I can.
All right.
Thank goodness.
So now we have the cylinders, the altar, the crown, and the ceremonial robe. The altar
I mean,
and the
nothing
cylinders
else.
had weird symbols on them. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, etchings. We want to go and see Mrs. Smith's
Staffon's on the
etchings.
wiki. Gun. What are we on? Sorry,
Yeah.
81.
Yeah. So we've got the
Do we
clay
want to just start
cylinders, the
going
altar.
them one at a time from here on out?
I feel like maybe we start with the altar because that's spoopy, and everything else is like there's a robe and a crown and then some
I can't
cylinders.
remember the altar. Was
How big
Yeah, I
is
think
the altar?
just
is
sounds
it like
cool.
a full stone, like,
like a-
beheading sort of number?
already
No, the
forgotten.
altar is wait, where were we? 40 something? I want to say it was 45, but I don't entirely
We'll
remember.
probably get a description when we go to it.
103.
We got one of those.
Gem studded, yeah. So you decide on a fair bid for the gemstone studded altar and submit your offer. So it's just an altar with some weird symbols and some gemstones in it. Not long after, Mr. Warren empties the ballot box and begins sifting through the entries for the highest bid. All right, someone else is rolling this time. Make
I'll
an
have a
appraise or
go.
credit rating roll, both at hard difficulty.
Oh, I don't want to have a go. Oh, I'm going to have a go. Huh. No,
Nuts.
not even
We
2 points to luck will save it.
No.
Huh?
We need a hard.
Not even 2 points to luck will save it because we can
All
go
right.
hard.
59. Mr. Warren takes his time mulling over the names and figures before calling out the name of a Dexter James. One of the dark-suited men from earlier comes forward to claim the altar.
Dexter James is definitely a hired goon name.
All right, so we've got the cylinders, the robe, or the crown. Cylinders
Cylinders.
next.
Cylinders.
Sure.
Yeah.
We gotta
What?
get ourselves a little something for the ride home.
24 does not link, so
Not
I'm going to go to
hyperlinked.
16 and scroll.
Having having done rule books and PDFs, hyperlinking is an utter pain in the ass. And so I'm just pleased that most of them are working.
You write a reasonable bid for the pair of clay cylinders and place it in the box. Shortly after you do, Mr. Warren clears the box and begins checking the bids. Make an appraise or credit rating, both at hard.
It's so funny. So
Dave, you haven't had a roll yet?
I'll do it. Only the journals were normal, which I guess suggests that no one cared about them.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, credit rating time. Ka-cha. Oh,
Woo.
Oh,
good.
where was that extreme
he's
before?
good.
Oh, he's good. Oh, he's very good.
He's very good. All
You
right,
muster
38.
your patience and wait for Mr. Warren to finish comparing the proposed bids for the strange clay cylinders. Thankfully, your patience pays off and you soon find them in your possession. Reduce your credit rating by 5.
Hell yeah. All right, we're down to
53.
53.
Crown and robe.
How's that for math? So that was us getting the clay cylinders, right?
We have the clay cylinders.
Crown seems more important than the robe, I reckon.
All right.
I think so.
You decide to place a bid on the crown and affix your name and a suitable price to a slip of paper, which finds its way into the box. You wait patiently for Mr. Warren to announce the highest bidder. Make a credit rating roll.
Do me this. I got
My
this.
turn, I think.
Oh, you got it, Alex?
You got it?
Alex's turn.
No,
Alex's turn.
You go.
Alex's
You go.
turn.
You go. Oh,
Hey.
now we're
That was
cooking.
a regular success. That's all we needed.
We got it.
We got the crown.
You pay a considerable
Crown.
sum, but the Indian crown is now yours. You smile with satisfaction as you tuck the bronze headpiece into your briefcase. Reduce your credit rating by 2.
Oh, we're done 51.
And then the last one is the robes.
Robe.
So that, sorry, what was that?
But-
That was the crown we just got, right?
We got the crown.
Crown.
Yeah. So we got the cylinders, the crown, the journal.
We are
missed out on the
clean.
idol and the altar.
Now we've got the
Robes.
robe.
The ceremonial robe catches your eye and you settle on placing a bid. You sign your name on a paper with a realistic price and put your submission in with the rest. You wait for Mr. Warren to call out the robe's winner.
All these adjectives for the prices had some meaning.
Yeah. Credit
Nice.
rating.
Here it goes. I've got it.
Regular. Yeah.
Nah. Oh, but it's
We could
lockable. 9
11.
points.
It's only a regular. Then we could wear the full
the
getup.
robe does not strike me as important. It's just plain
No.
The other thing
white.
is, don't forget, we do have sleight of hand. We could just steal these back.
If the adventure lets us. No, the robe doesn't grab me. It said it was just like an ordinary monk's
Yeah.
robe, like a Brahmin robe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
And
need
it's,
it.
we've just got the regular
We-
success on it. Like it's just a, yeah.
Yeah.
Need
We
a
accept,
robe for the
we accept
ritual.
failure.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Means
It
we
would
need the robe for the
seem-
ritual.
I have
Yeah.
no
It would
do.
seem one of the other collectors here wants this particular item more than you. The robe is sold for a higher price than you expected to
Yeah.
someone other than yourself.
Okay.
And we don't even find out who it is, so it's clearly not
It's
important.
very vague.
So when we are done,
Mm.
your business
are-
here is completed. You see the crowd staring covetously at the newly acquired items, and you spot Amelia looking smug and satisfied with a leather bag full of cash. Mr. Warren begins to clear away the tables while Officer Powell stands by the door. This was Officer Powell, and directs people out of the building and into the ever thickening fog. Though some seem content to stay and socialize, you feel that it would be best to go and bed down for the night.
Hell yeah, we love a bunch
All
of
right.
fog.
Who's our new
Yeah.
Who's our new narrator? At 26. It's me because there are no volunteers.
Go for your life.
I think it's you.
While the estate sale seems interesting, you would feel more secure with the robe. Well, no,
That's-
this is like as if you've chosen.
This
It
is
doesn't quite work.
This
It's
is
fine.
clearly this is where it just relinks.
With the estate sale having concluded, you feel more secure with a roof over your head for the night. You pull someone out of the crowd and inquire as to where you can find a room to rent. You're directed a few blocks into town to a modestly priced hotel, a few buildings down from Asbury's police station. As you enter in from the cool night air, you're greeted by the heat of a roaring fire. The small front room feels stuffy and cramped. The bulk of the space is dominated by the large service counter, behind which sits a wiry-looking wisp of a woman. I think Alex is going to need a little bit more. Would you like the wiry-looking wisp of a woman?
Yep, I'll
She,
take the wire looking wisp of a woman.
Why
She
would
turns
this-
her wide eyes to you and asks, and
What's your name, sweetie?
and then
And then quid to a price that's more than fair. This is a fair price.
more than
It's
even.
more than fair. I'm sorry, I gave you the character, and then it turns out she doesn't have any dialogue, I suspect. Never mind.
Any
With the
dialogue.
transaction complete, you haul your thin briefcase
Okay,
up the
thanks, bye.
stairs, unpack it, and settle into your room for the night.
So is there a chance we could have just fully not done? Because that seemed to be linking from before, right? We could
Yeah,
have
no,
just skipped
26 was
entire
the
auction.
one.
Yeah, we could have
26
just not done the
was-
estate sale.
That's hilarious.
It's
That's
confusing.
the number that if it had said like go to the estate sale or like go and find a roof, go and find a safe place to sleep for the night. 26 was the number we would have gone to either way.
We're stacked
Weird.
with artifacts. It was awesome. All right.
Anyway, you wake in the morning, grateful for the rest. You rise from your bed and then take in the modest surroundings that make up your room. Wow, we just conked out and now we're looking at the room. The furnishings are sparse, a small, poor quality dresser and a cramped and dusty writing desk tucked in the corner. Sitting atop the desk is a plate of eggs on toast. Oh, apparently set out
It's
for
a
you
little
by the
fucking
hotel's
creepy.
owner. A little
While you were
bit.
sleeping.
They should probably leave it in the hallway and knock on the door, not creep in.
Like normal people.
I'm now very suspicious of this
The wisp.
wiry whisper
I'm
woman.
concerned.
She may be a ghost. The walls are plain and unadorned, save for a single window that faces toward the lake. However, this view is currently blocked by the incredibly thick fog, which has taken on a pale green hue.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Oh, nice, Jackson.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Your vision is obscured entirely, and you cannot see into the depths of the outlandish green mist. You also notice your personal belongings placed around the room exactly as you left them the night before.
That's
Why is that
suspicious
vaguely
as hell.
She
Why
threatening?
are they
came in,
calling
gave us
that?
toast, and
Don't
didn't touch
worry,
stuff. That's
it's
suspiciously
exactly-
specific, but sure.
Exactly how you left them the night before.
Trust none of this.
Yeah.
All right, 106.
I'm sorry, I'm just messing with my lights unhelpfully. After getting dressed and eating the modest breakfast set out for you, you're ready to begin the day. You take a moment to consider what this means for you. Your mind turns to Professor Harris. If you're so inclined, you might be able to investigate the circumstances of his death further. Considering that you don't have his widow Amelia's address, damn it. How many times has this happened to Professor Wood? Has a really great time with someone he's just met and gets to get their digits.
Pretty sure getting someone's digits is what the mafia does.
No,
We could do
that's-
that. It's there's no
That's a
such-
pickup thing, isn't it? Getting someone's digits is like getting the number of someone you meet at the club.
Yeah,
I
use
appreciate
one of
that you
those
can actually
I'm
cigar
right
Cigar
about
at this
that,
point.
aren't I?
Clippers.
I like that you were talking to three. Like, I don't
help me
know.
out here.
I don't know.
No,
I'm pretty
Alright,
sure getting
what?
someone's digits is like getting their phone number at the club.
deeply sounds like you are about to
It's for-
remove their
for moving
fingers.
No, yep, chat says I'm correct. So I'm going to take that. Anyway, we don't have Amelia's address. We'd have to start our search. You just have to start your search with the official report filed with Officer Powell at the police station, who we did not make a
Returning
good impression on.
character.
Alternatively, you could take this free time to look through your belongings and examine any items you might have. Look through your own belongings, find out what you
This
have.
is after you
Yeah, I think we
bid
should
it on them for
probably have a
like a
look at
shitload
it.
of money.
No, I think this is your. Keep reading. It makes
No,
sense.
this is your belongings.
Yeah, keep reading.
The hotel owner has been in your room, so a check of your things might be in order. Or perhaps you have some other reason to look over your possessions.
Because we got
Yeah.
a journal.
We bought a bunch. We bought some shit. We should probably
We
look at it.
read.
okay,
we got a
great.
journal. We should read because I assume that it'll be like, if you have this thing, do a thing.
Finally, if you feel your
I do
business,
appreciate that you can just leave.
Yeah, I do
business-
too.
if you feel your
Oh.
business in Asbury is concluded, you can always go find Lance Sanford at the ferry and just leave
That's
and
very
walk out of the
If
adventure.
it was
It
closer
does say
to
try.
yeah, if it was closer to like the time we were planning on winding down for stream, I'd be like, fuck it, let's just go to the ferry and see if this adventure
like,
will just let
cool.
us leave and
I
survive
bet it'll
with
be that the
stuff.
fogs come
do
in and
what?
the boats
Yeah.
aren't running.
Yeah. I want to look over our items and see if it gives us any information about
Yeah.
stuff and things.
Where's the single-minded zeal to pursue this strange
agree.
widow that we had earlier? I don't like this.
I mean, that's going to the
Well,
police station.
Yeah,
right?
that's-
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But you know what?
Wait,
We
wait,
don't
let's
do
look at
much
stuff.
business. We want
Idle
to
be
go see her. Yeah, we want to go
yeah,
see her.
but we
at
do want to
whiskey
wait for
o'clock.
like maybe the fog. You know, the sun will come up and the fog will burn away, and we'll be able to see
Yeah.
shit.
We should also probably check the journal because
Yeah,
it
we
might
also
have some
can't
because it
see
was
where we're
her
going.
That's what
ex-husband.
checking the items.
I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing.
Let's check the items.
Checking
All
the
right,
items.
checking the items. A cursory inspection of your personal belongings reveals that nothing is amiss. All of your possessions are just as you left them. Excuse me. While you are here looking things over, you can take this opportunity to more closely scrutinize items bought at the estate sale. Alternatively, you may leave and go and explore elsewhere if your curiosity is satisfied. Yeah, after examining each item, you can come
Yeah.
back and look at something else. If you have none of the items are done looking, go elsewhere.
Interesting.
So
the robe,
we had.
the robe is.
Oh, the
not
robe isn't even
there.
here.
The
Nor
robe isn't on there, neither
nor
is the crown.
No, it's the
which we do
crown.
have.
Oh, all
So
right.
what
So we
we
meant to
have-
write about the
Doodle.
robe.
We have
We
the
have the
crown
journal and the
journal.
cylinders.
Do we have the cylinders too? Hell yes.
Did we not get the cylinders? I thought we succeeded on that one.
I did not write in the cylinders.
I don't
no, clay
think we got the
cylinders asked. Yes,
cylinders.
I think we did. I
We
think
have
we failed
cylinders,
it.
journal,
We failed on
and-
the altar, but we succeeded on the
Oh,
cylinders.
yeah, the altar. Yeah, the cylinders we got.
So
Okay,
we've got the
journal and
journal. We can
cylinders
look
we
at
can
journal
do.
and cylinders. I reckon
Well,
peruse the journal
Yeah.
first
Let's do
and
it.
foremost. Because then we know what the
Alright.
cylinders maybe are.
The journal is the most important thing. Though you glanced at the notebook during
Oh,
your estate
boy.
sale,
Oh, wrong.
you hadn't
Long
had
one.
time to look it properly over until now. Reading through the book, you become deeply engrossed and spend the next few hours in study. Oops. The time spent yields valuable information. Professor Harris made several trips to India, starting about 12 years ago. During these visits, he went to multiple sites to make observations and recover artifacts. His longest and
I see he's using the
gross.
British terminology.
Gross, gross,
Yeah,
gross, gross,
recover.
gross.
Dun, dun, dun.
His longest and most profitable trip appears
There it is.
to have been 10 years ago during an excursion to Sarnath, India, where he writes about recovering, and this is in the text, recovering several items from an active Buddhist shrine.
Oh, that's fucking
Apparently,
rude.
Professor
An
Harris.
active shrine?
Yeah,
we
that
are
sucks.
like just
Yeah,
British
big
colonialism
yikes.
is the worst.
Apparently,
Yeah, look.
well, apparently, Professor Harris had some regrets about this theft.
Oh my
but he
god, they actually
couldn't-
fully just call it theft.
Just
Good
put
on
it in
them.
the text.
But he couldn't resist taking the artifacts for his personal collection. The descriptions of the
even-
items. Not even resist.
Not even for a museum, just for personal use.
No,
Just-
yep,
just
doesn't
to
even
hang
belong
on
in a
to.
museum. The descriptions of the items he came across in Sarnath matched some of the items at the estate sale last night. The clay cylinders, the gemstone encrusted altar, and the lizard-like idol are all described in detail in the entries related to his trip in the Sarnath. He could not give a crap about the robes and the crown. There you go. These same items then appear throughout the rest of the journal. He's clearly been studying them over the past decade and developed something of a fixation with them. It was the idol that initially caught Harris's eye. We spent 25 points on the idol, right? We got the idol.
No,
Excellent.
we didn't.
No,
Oh,
we did not get the
we got
idol.
that. We got the idol. We didn't get the idol.
No.
No, we didn't get
No,
the
we
idol.
didn't get the idol. We got the
Banu
cylinders.
got the idol.
Of the actual interesting
Banu
items,
got
we
the
got the
idol.
cylinders,
Yeah.
And the
and
journal.
that's it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He clearly been studying them over the past decade and developed something of a fixation with them. It was the idol that initially caught Harris's eye, and according to him, the depiction of the great and grotesque water lizard matched no description of any known Hindu deity. Hoping to find clues of the idol's identity, Harris set about trying to translate the mysterious script on the cylinders and the altar. In doing so, he met with significant difficulty, as the text was only barely recognizable as an archaic dialect of a pre-Sanskrit language. The process was slow and painstaking until about a year ago. At this time, Professor Harris writes of having a strange and enlightening dream.
Oh no.
He reports walking in the ancient world from whence these items originated, a grand city of marble walls and onyx streets, of bronze gates and marvelous palaces and gardens. He writes of visiting the 17 tower temples of this ancient city and meeting the bearded gods who dwelled there, sat upon their ivory thrones. Harris calls this strange place Sarnath. Despite the sheer impossibility of this, he claims that among the temples, he learns the secrets of the ancient writing. His next entry goes on to describe the odd clay cylinders as the brick cylinders of Kadathron, although he hadn't yet identified the other objects. The next few pages have been torn from the journal.
Damn it.
Huh.
The entries resume with more mundane matters, though there are still references to the artifacts from time to time. The most recent entries in the journal speak of Harris's daily studies and living with Amelia. Ooh. We read that and find out like what her favorite breakfast is, you know,
Yeah,
what
we just flick through and look
really
for
great.
flowers he
entries
got her
about
for
Amelia, yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Keep reading.
It's clear that he cared about her deeply from the way he writes about her, but he laments that his studies keep him from spending the time with her that he would like. Instead he lavished her with gifts and money, which she was all too happy to accept. He notes that Amelia had never been happier despite the distance between them. We know what that means.
Oofed.
The last
Big oof,
entry to
buddy. Big
the
oof.
last
That's not
entry.
a good thing.
Oh, we all know what that means. The last entry to catch your eye is dated a little over a week ago. Apparently, the pages torn from the journal went missing only recently. Professor Harris expresses deep concern at this, as there were no signs of forced entry to his study, and only he and Amelia had access to it, though he wasn't sure he removed them from the journal himself. You finish your reading by glossing over the last week of the professor's life, which is rather uneventful and peaceful, beyond his continued obsession with the artifacts and his occasional worries about Amelia.
Oh, well.
So it's interesting.
You should be
that
worried
she
about
has-
Amelia.
But also, if he was wealthy and lavished her with gifts and money, and now immediately she needs money again,
I think she just
Is
likes
is that the
money
point of
as well.
selling stuff? It's like,
Or she's
Obviously, this is a
saying
person
she needs
who-
money.
I mean, yeah,
She's taking the pages out of the journal that say what things do. She could just be like, these need to get back. Yeah.
I fully
she's in a
suspect
little
that
cult.
someone offered her money to do that,
Yeah,
and she said
no
yes.
doubt.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, should we have a look at the cylinders? Is the other thing we got, right?
Yes.
So
You turn the
62.
hardened clay cylinders over in your hands, your eyes falling on the large cracks running through both items. Despite the damage, their solid construction has led to the cylinder's survival throughout the ages. There's a nice big picture here. Are the chat seeing that? The viewers seeing that?
No, it's
Pretty
kind
good.
of. I might be able to move it a little bit. Hang on. There we go. That does it.
I think it's behind our heads.
Yeah. moved it a little. There we go.
The next most obvious quality is the strange writing plastered along the sides of each cylinder. It's quite remarkable in that it doesn't resemble any language known to you. Unfortunately, you have no way of translating it. And
Cool.
that's it. There's nothing interesting about the crown, apparently. We didn't get the altar and the idol. So I guess we're off to the
I
police
think we got the
station.
most important thing, which is we
Oh,
know what
the
these
journal.
things
Definitely.
potentially are. Also, just because it's been a hot sec, who were the people that existed in the Cold Fire Within?
The
Who were the big? What were their names?
I can't remember.
The
frickin-
No.
cold Fireans.
yeah, they're
The ones in the middle of the
center
world.
in like the Hyperborea kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone can take over reading.
All right. Who
Yeah.
wants to? I can.
I'll take it.
Very good.
All yours. So we're on 11.
So we're going to police station or the ferry?
Except Alex,
I think-
you're our police officer. So
Well, that's true. Yeah.
why don't I take it for a
All
little
of
bit?
you to assume I remember what I actually.
Just wing it out of the gate.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll take this second.
Yeah.
You step out into the greenish mist. You feel it clinging tightly to you as you make your way the short distance to the police station. Upon entering the small brick building, you are struck with a sense of claustrophobia. The walls here are uncomfortably close together, and space is tight. Crammed into the tiny structure are a large desk, several filing cabinets, and a few chairs. A closet-sized holding cell with iron bars sits at the rear of the room. Behind the large desk is Officer Powell, smoking a cigar with his feet propped up on the table. His coat is unbuttoned, and his hat lies on a top of a stack of papers, next to a battered old revolver. He opens one eye and frowns at you,
Revolver.
sighing through his cigar as he straightens himself up to look presentable.
If you're bothering me right now, I'm going to assume this is important.
You mention that you would like to see the police report for Professor William Harris's death, to which he replies with a snort.
You have no business dealing with that, and even if you did, this is my jurisdiction. Shove off and leave me in peace.
He doesn't seem cooperative, but perhaps you could convince him that you have some special circumstance that warrants you to look through his files. This is going to be a fast talk
Ew.
roll, which I don't believe we have any points in.
Good
Fast
fun.
talk. No,
Ace
5.
five.
All right, I'll click the button and see how we go. Nowhere
Nice.
close.
No.
All right, that's a fail. Cross to 101. You try to convince the officer that you have a particularly good reason to needing access for the file, but he simply doesn't care.
Scram, stranger, you're ruining my smirk. If you want to dig at the dead guy, go bother his widower. Places over the north side of town right next to the church. Can't damn well miss it.
Officer Powell will be of no more help at this time. We can go find the Harris house or return to the hotel. Let's go meet our friends.
We got it.
Come on. As if.
We're going to do
yeah,
nothing
look.
but try to find the house.
All right, so we're going to 90. You walk into town toward the Harris address. Even knowing the location, it's difficult for you to find your way due to your unfamiliarity with the town and the density of the peculiar green mist. As a result, it's some time before you arrive at the Harris house. As you approach the building, a man steps out of the fog, blocking your path. He is young and thin, with a rather angular features and the faint hint of a mustache atop his lip. He's dressed in a dark suit and stares at you from beneath a flat cap.
So this is the boss of the two dark suited guys who were on the ferry.
Do we
So
know
two
that,
dark
or
suited
are you
guys
just
on the
guessing?
ferry. I remember the two
He's
dark
a new
suited guys
man.
on the ferry got off the ferry and they went to this guy at the estate sale.
well
He's their
done.
boss.
I
Okay.
remember
Yeah.
that there was definitely a mention of a wispy mustache at one point,
Yeah.
but I don't
Yeah.
remember specifically.
Who wants to take
So,
a wispy mustached
who?
gentleman?
We should play him.
Art, you want to take this one?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
All yours.
You're an unwelcome surprise. I don't know what you're looking for, but you won't find it here.
Your eyes betray you as you glance at the Harris house. The man scowls visibly.
Why don't you leave the poor widow alone, you creep? If you want to bother her, you're going to have to go through old Joshua here, capiche?
His hand brushes beneath his coat as if searching for something, but then he stops himself. He pauses for a moment, looking you over once more before spitting on the ground at your feet and turning away. He is completely justified in calling us a creep. To call out
Yeah,
to
look.
Joshua, we
Fair.
can go to 5, or we can make our way to the Harris house, or we can heed his warning and return to the hotel.
Who is Joshua?
No, but we're just walking to the house.
Guy, I
We're just
think. I think
walking to
he's
the house.
Joshua.
He's either,
Yeah.
now I'm getting the vibe that either he is the boss or he's like her butler or something.
Mm-hmm. He's
Keeper of the
a,
house.
he's a goon, no
Straight to
doubt.
the
He
house.
might be that. He might be
Yeah,
the
I
head
think
goon.
I think he's the boss
King of the
goon
goons.
and is like, yeah, doesn't want anyone.
Do you wanna
hanging
try and
around.
talk to him,
I
or
reckon
do
they're
you
the ones
wanna-
who
Whoops.
paid her.
Sorry, I already went to the other one. I can go back there.
I reckon we're just gonna walk to the house.
Just to the house,
Just
right?
be like, yeah,
We're
cool
not
story, Josh.
clever.
Yeah, no, we're not. And I think we're pretty
Yeah, cool
determined to
story,
go, mate,
Josh.
with what's and nuts.
Bye.
All right, 55.
I mean, he's not doing a very good job. He's like, hey, you want to get to her? You got to go through me. And he
He
turns around and
leaves.
walks
And we're
away. And then we just,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to
Yeah,
go
I was
in.
like, all right, dude.
Despite
Thanks-
Joshua's
thanks, Josh, bye.
urgings, you feel compelled to speak to Amelia yourself.
Yeah, we
Approach
do.
the front of the house and note your surroundings. The house's exterior hints at the wealth of the occupants, but then again, so do most places in town. Directly across from the residence is a small church, whose religious iconography seems to have inspired the Harrises in the design of their own home. A bronze cross hangs over the front door, and decorative columns line the outside walls of the two-story house. All in all, the architectural style is somewhat baroque, complete with a pair of carved angels lounging beneath the eaves that are just visible through the strange haze. You knock on the door and wait in the mist for a few moments, hoping for someone to hear you. Eventually, much to your relief, the widow Amelia answers the door. She's wearing a bright red dress, which accents her deep crimson lipstick.
Oh,
She appears
that's
to have
spicy.
taken great care over her appearance. She flashes you a smile and invites you inside. The house opens into a large foyer, and you see various crates and bundles stacked high along the walls. Jackson?
Just selling off a few of the more common things. Mind the mess. The porter hasn't come for it yet.
She takes you by the hand to lead you past the stacks of items, helping you to pick your way through the deceased Professor Harris's assembled possessions. She takes you into a small drawing room full of antique furniture and offers you some coffee. After settling in and exchanging a few well-mannered pleasantries, you ask in more detail about the late Professor Harris. Amelia sighs theatrically and looks down at her hands.
Oh, I can't imagine what you want to ask about William. I found him in his study with the gun still in his mouth. What more could you want to know?
Holy dooly. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
it's a
that'll do us. I
psychology
don't
roll.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that'll get us out. She's handling it remarkable. Wasn't this a week ago?
Yeah. Yeah, she's just like, yeah, she's doing pretty good.
All right, that's a psychology roll. So I
50
go,
shot.
Ka-cha. Yes. How many of these are we? I feel like we're rolling pretty well on average, right?
Big money.
Okay, that's a success. 126. You don't know why you hadn't realized it before. Selling all of his things, adopting
Okay, we
such a
had.
flirty demeanor, dismissing questions
no,
about
the
her husband's
character
death.
hadn't. We knew. The character's not smart.
We all knew what was going on. Professor Wood is just catching up as the
Yeah.
some of the blood is returning to his brain from other
To his
parts of his
brain,
anatomy.
Nice of him to join us.
Yeah, look.
Amelia doesn't seem too broken up about her husband's passing. She's hiding something. You'd bet your career on it. You suspect she's involved in Professor Harris's death in some form or another. You open your mouth, prepared to call her bluff and press her for more information, but you are interrupted by a loud knock at the door. Amelia jumps up, startled, and stands there for a moment in confusion as the pounding on the door resumes. We don't.
I'm guessing it's probably
open
the only
door.
cop in existence.
Yeah, that's you then, Alex. You're all of our policemen.
Please open the door.
Amelia's face drains white as she goes to answer the knock. Your gut tells you something is wrong here. You feel uneasy about the officer at the door. You tell yourself you're being irrational and on edge, but you have some trouble fighting that feeling. You have a few precious moments to react. So we ignore our instincts and wait, or we can attempt to hide with a stealth roll.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely hiding.
Just a quick
This
check
is my
on the
method
old
acting
stealth
as
score.
Amelia's face drains to white. Like I'm just that good.
Oh, I see.
Hell
I
yeah.
see. Okay.
Our
Amazing.
stealth is base. And I feel like and I'll note they don't go to the
Great.
same place. So if we fail this, we are, I
Correct.
presume, found cowering.
We're not smart people, and I feel like doing a dumb thing on
right.
instinct is
I mean,
very.
Under the couch.
This feels like the kind of thing we should let chat weigh in on, right?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I can vibe exactly
I
what
don't
chat's going to
think-
want us to do.
Yeah,
also-
yeah, we do know, like, we know our chat. Come on.
If there's a chance that we could do something
They
and put
tune in to
ourselves in a
watch
worse
us every
situation,
week.
yeah.
You know. Oh.
Yeah, they tune in to watch us every week. This is the chat that loves chaos.
All
Where
right. Here we go. Rolling.
We are the stream of chaos.
Cha. Oh, it's
good.
technically doable. I don't think it's worth it though, right?
Do we spend 17 points of luck?
Surely not. We've spent so much.
It would be
already.
very funny to just be like hiding under the couch. Like, I don't know how I managed it, but now I'm out of luck.
It is funny to just
It is
try
pretty
to
funny.
hide
Yeah.
and fail.
I think
Yeah.
it is. I think it's
Yeah.
better to fail.
and to be
almost.
like standing behind a lamp or something. Yeah.
We're just
Yeah,
going to end up in jail.
curtain.
It's fine.
All right.
Or dead.
We very much fail, so we'll go to 20. Your instincts get the better of you, and you feel compelled to make your escape. You rise from your seat, looking for suitable exits. The only way that doesn't lead towards the entrance is through the kitchen. You don't know if there's an exit that way, but you think it's worth a shot. Unfortunately, you never get to take it. As you rise and head for the kitchen doorway, Officer Powell bursts into the room, shouting.
Freeze, police.
You glance over your shoulder and see his revolver leveled at you, and you go stiff.
I know exactly what we're doing here. You're under arrest for trespassing. You're going to come with me now.
He has you dead in his sights. Talking would do you little good, as he's already caught you trying to flee the scene. You should probably do what he says. On the other hand, you could try to run. Staring down the barrel of a gun, the odds don't look good, but maybe you like your chances better with the gun than the prison cell. Holy shit. So to go quietly,
I want to know.
make a
No,
run for
I
it.
want to know that we are almost bang on 11:30.
Mm.
I think this is a really
Good call.
fun time to be like,
Let's-
maybe we
let's-
leave this on a
Let's
cliffhanger. What do we
decide
do?
which one we're
Let's
doing.
decide what to do first.
But we will park
yeah.
it
Obviously.
here, and then Jackson and I will
Obviously,
pick it up
we're
next
Obviously
week.
running.
We're obviously
We're
booking it.
stupid. We're running.
I
Yeah.
think we're running.
Okay. All right. A terrible decision has been made, and I've almost,
Outstanding.
it's gonna open up next week. Jackson, I go to 82. We get shot, and I guess we'll just
Nice.
go home.
I think that is also why they give you the backtrack, is like if something happens and you're like, okay, let me I'd instantly die. Let me go and make the other decision and see what terrible, so you can find your way back.
We'll
and
get
then
something
continue.
satisfying, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
Okay. Fantastic. So we are gonna leave the session there. I think we're probably about at a rough guess. I don't know. I'd guess we're about a third of the way through. So Jackson and I will pick this up next week and run us through to the conclusion. We'll say goodbye to Art and Alex for a short while, and then we will all be back the week following, which I think is the first weekend of June.
June 3rd.
As we kick into
Or June
the
2nd for our American
depending
friends.
on time zones. Blech. I was up at
Excellent.
3:30 due to jet lag, so yeah, bastards.
Yikes.
As we resume with the final chapter of the Two-Headed Serpent, off to the, actually I won't say too much because technically someone might watch this that isn't watching Two-Headed Serpent because we'll be on a different one. So who knows
that's
what's
true.
happening, but it's the final one and things are going badly. All right. Thank you for watching, and cheers for joining me, everyone, and we'll see you all in a little while. But ciao.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.